I'm actually really excited about this story. I spent some time in Hawaii in February and got to speak with the House representative as well as the Senate on this topic. So this makes me happy. All right, Hawaii governor signs bill creating expungement task force that's expected to consider marijuana conviction relief. Hawaii's governor has signed into law a bill to create a task force charged with crafting legislation that would expunge certain criminal records, likely including some past marijuana arrests and convictions. Governor Josh Green, a Democrat, signed the so-called Clean State Expungement Task Force bill on Tuesday, a day before a signature deadline for measures passed this session by lawmakers. The legislation does not explicitly mention cannabis, but marijuana-related offenses are widely expected to be included in the task force discussions, and organizations named as members of the new body have focused significantly on cannabis this season. Reform advocates welcome the news, saying that removing blemishes from people's criminal records would help remove barriers to housing, education, and employment. I believe in redemption. I believe in second chances. Representative David Tarnas, Democrat, the bill's sponsor, said at a press conference alongside the governor on Tuesday. And in Hawaii, we have a system for record clearance and expungement, which is very challenging. There are tens of thousands of individuals who qualify to have their records expunged, yet it's so difficult to do that. Very few people do it. It's very true. The new law will bring together people in a task force to figure out what is the best way for us to have a comprehensive framework for all clemency efforts in the state, including pardons, expungement, and record sealing, so that we make it more accessible to people. Carrie Ann Shirota, Policy Director for ACLU of Hawaii, told Marijuana Moment that the group strongly supports clean slate laws that expand expungement and record sealing through the use of technology. SB 2706 creates an expungement task force that brings us one step closer to ensuring that all people have access to opportunity, she said. Having a record should not be a barrier to helping individuals provide for themselves and their families, nor should it be a life sentence to poverty. At its heart, Clean Slate is about redemption, a shot at redemption and facilitating workforce development. Research shows that a year after record clearance, people are more likely to be employed and earn higher wages, Shirota added, which is phenomenal. The new body will include state officials, including the Attorney General, Chief Justice, Public Defender, and some prosecutors, as well as representatives from various advocacy groups, including ACLU, the Last Prisoner Project, the Hawaii Innocence Project, and others. In a statement to Marijuana Moment, Last Prisoner Project said it's honored to be a part of the expungement task force to ensure all Hawaiians with cannabis charges have their records expunged. Our appointment to the Clean Slate Task Force will help ensure the state-initiated cannabis expungement bill signed by Governor Green is implemented with fidelity, said LPP Policy Manager Adrian Roca, and can serve as the foundation for broader record relief moving forward. The task force will have interim reports, including proposed legislation, due at least 40 days before the starts of Hawaii's 2025 and 2026 legislative sessions. A final report with recommended legislation is due at least 40 days before the 2027 lawmaking session. Nikos Laverens, board president for the Drug Policy Forum of Hawaii, said he expects the law to bring relief to many people in Hawaii, but he stressed that there's still work to be done. It's heartening to see that this task force is comprised of a broad cross-section of community stakeholders, in addition to government officials. Hopefully, the forthcoming task force work will invite public observation and participation online. He said, adding that enforcement of drug laws, as with other aspects of Hawaii's criminal legal system, disproportionately impacts Native Hawaiians. The task force's work can help improve the life prospects of many, but its work shouldn't be done in isolation, added Laverns, who also served on Hawaii's dual use of cannabis task force and a separate state commission to improve standards of conduct. Hawaii should take note of the recent statement from American Medical Association regarding the decriminalization of drug possession and work more broadly towards the decriminalization of behavioral health and poverty. One example, while paraphernalia is ostensibly decriminalized, far too many are still charged with felony promotion of dangerous drugs for unusual traces of residue they find themselves in a probation system that has the longest average term in the nation. Lawmakers sent SB 2706 to the governor's office in April, but Green did not act on the proposal for months. In the meantime, he signed a separate bill into law, HB 1595, to create a single county pilot program that will expunge certain non-conviction marijuana records. As originally introduced, that measure from Tarnas would have directed state officials to automatically expunge tens of thousands of arrest and conviction records for low-level marijuana possession. But the Senate Judicial Committee later gutted the proposal, replacing the statewide plan with a pilot program in Hawaii County that would apply only to non-conviction arrest records. Hawaii County comprises the Big Island and is the state's second most populous after Honolulu County. It's home to about 14% of the state's population. Advocates have said the limited reform measures represent victories despite the legislature's failure to pass a marijuana legalization bill this season. A separate bill to expand the state's existing law decriminalizing small amounts of cannabis also failed to pass this session. Following the failure of the broader legalization push, Green said in April that he has a possible solution to the situation, vastly expanding the Hawaii's existing medical cannabis system to allow people to register based on any health concern, rather than needing to have one of the specific lists of qualifying conditions. This would make it very available. That's marijuana for those who choose it in their lives, the governor said in an interview with Hawaii News Now. And it would still keep kids safe, which has been everyone's priority. Think of the children, Jason. At the same time, Green reiterated his support for full recreational legalization. I think for adults who can responsibly use marijuana, it should be legal, he said. I think this is great news. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to finally see a government moving forward, not only with these pardons that we know are kind of posturing, but also with expungement and record sealing. I think those things obviously have to work hand in hand. I'm very excited. I think, in speaking to the Senate as well as the House representative member, there were clear lines between who was, I did this, I did that, I blah, 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 you're up for re-election, we see. So I think there are definitely some well-intentioned folks there, and I think that this is a great step forward for the state of Hawaii. What do you think, Jason?
Go ahead, Rico.
Jenny Beth?
Rico?
Since you have insider information on this one, has there been any progress on any people of color and or natives of the islands actually owning any businesses or owning any businesses or actually being behind any of the major legal movement?
So the people, the Native Hawaiians, are largely pushing to.
It was zero.
Yeah, still. So that's kind of one of the issues, and that's why they weren't ready to move forward necessarily in all the ways. The Native Hawaiians are definitely very frustrated, and the indigenous people of Hawaii definitely have a right to be frustrated. I think there were a lot of concerns, just as in here. We have social equity licenses that are owned by people who are not social equity qualified. So there is a lot of frustration among the Native Hawaiian people on why their involvement is not there, and why these things are pushing forward to a more capitalistic system as opposed to protecting their interests and the people who have cultivated and built this industry from the jump. So no, Rico, unfortunately not yet, but hopefully by the time I get back next year, that will be changing.
Why aren't Native Hawaiians?
Maybe Oprah can. Yeah, I was going to say, maybe Oprah and Dwayne Johnson can fund some of these folks too.
Well,
put it out there.
Why aren't Native Hawaiians treated similar as Native Americans as far as given certain land or anything like that?
That's a great answer.
Because that shit just happened yesterday.
The land was taken in a different way.
Yeah, it was taken in a very different way, and that shit just literally just happened too. So it's given America's track record, it's going to take another 100 years or so until they even admit any wrongdoing in the whole situation.
You don't think it'll happen faster with AI?
Maybe if we put an AI president in there.
I mean, AI is already woke. AI already comes from a woke perspective.
If we can install AI into the policy and lawmakers, then maybe they will change their minds. But until we just keep installing money into their pockets for doing things that aren't necessarily the greatest for the people they serve, then no.
Yeah, as much as conservatives love to apologize, Jenny Beth, because I'm using this as a broad term right now, because I know you know what the actual term woke means, but I still have not found a.
You're not getting a definition out of me today.
A melanin deficient.
It's 710. You know what woke. You know exactly what woke
who can
means.
add it and can adequately define woke. What does woke mean, Jason?
Yeah, cute, Rico, real cute. Oh, real cute.
Yeah.
You're not getting a definition.
My concern about all of these expungements, they tend to be what they call unfunded mandates. You've got to go do this, but they don't give you the money to do it. And in California, they drug their feet incredibly. Mm-hmm. So what happens is you take away convictions, and people inside the criminal justice system, their butt kind of puckers up a little bit. And so they fight about it. And I'm happy to see they brought in a broad coalition to look at this. But what power does the coalition have? I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road. What can they actually do? And were they given money to go do this? Or is this, we're going to volunteer and meet someplace, have a couple drinks, and talk about who we're going to give a expungement to?
I'm sure that it's got to be a little more organized than that, I would assume.
You think so?
I think so.
You're giving them a lot of credit.
I'm going to give them a lot of credit, and they were honestly one of the most open government bodies that I've ever dealt with, so I actually really appreciate. They came up to me after our conversations and asked to continue the conversation and for testimony and advisement. So I appreciate that. I, once again, optimistic, dumbass me, would like to hope that some people are well-intentioned and are trying to do the right things.
Interesting. All right. Fair
I
enough.
love Hawaii. I just absolutely love Hawaii. I'm not a big outdoors person. I'm not a big water person, but there's something about Hawaii, man. It just like makes me feel like I'm at home every time I go there. From the people to the atmosphere,
spirit, Rico.
like, all of that shit.
It's
man.
because you're on an island, Rico.
Hawaii. I'm an island boy.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of which, let's go to
The last time I was there, I was in the Federal Detention Center, and it wasn't a tourist place. So I have a bad taste in my mouth for Honolulu.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Did you have a?
Dale,
Did you? I mean,
Dale Downer over here. I apologize.
Dale, I have a serious question right now. Does it have like an ocean view like San Quentin?
Oh my.
Not where I was housed.
So you're
looking out on.
Is it like in the middle of the island?
Low-income housing.
Got it.
It was right next to the airport.
How was the food?
Shitty.
Still shitty. Oh boy.
A lot of sweets for calories. Oh, we're going to feed you nutritious food. Here's chocolate cake and other shit. It's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Those peanut butter and honey
I
sandwiches.
want to go back, but I want to only go to another island, the Big Island or Kauai. I've been there a couple of times. I don't want to spend any more time in Honolulu. I got a bad taste in my mouth for that place now.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Uncle.
That's pretty understandable.
Fair enough. Just go to Maui, Dale. You'll be fine. Have a great time in Maui.
And there too. That's Hana Highway.
Yeah.
Good place.
Yeah.
Are they big time welcoming tourists again in Maui now? I don't know how the rebuilding effort has been out there.
I don't know, but shout out to everybody.
I saw something that
there.
they started breaking ground like last week on some rebuilding some of the people's houses, which is a good sign.
On Oprah's land.
I know insurance companies love to drag their feet on that.
Yeah, I will always have jokes. I always have jokes for Oprah and The Rock on that. But I did read a report from local Hawaiians saying that they put up a lot of fucking money. There's like 60 million actually came in from their efforts. So like after the dust settled from all of that, all of their miscues with communications and shit like that, like 60 million came in, and they pledged 10 million themselves. So I really hope that the rebuilding efforts go well for the people, and it's not just a cash grab for developers out there.
Hawaii Sustainable says Maui is their island, and essentially, please don't come there. They're carjacking folks.
Whoa.
Still.
Maybe let's stay away from
tourists.
Maybe not Maui, Dale. Don't listen to Jason Beck.
Anywhere I'm at, I'm a local at, so I'm not worried about none of that shit.